Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am French Shot Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, the 29th of October. Let's say it together. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Can we have a hood talk moment? A hood talk moment. Not a community type moment, but a hood, a hood. Over the decades, there is this big distinguished mode, if you will, between community and hood. And hood is that place where there's a lot of tolerance or a lot of foolishness. And that's unfortunate. That's the stereotype. A community is based more so on laws and orders, and the people then follow through on that. Now, before I get into that, I want to show you guys something. I was just at a grocery store, and I tell you, when I saw this, I'm like, you know what? Tempers are going to flare, because the reality of this moment is happening. And who knows, as I speak, maybe they're fixing this. It's a notice at a grocery store where they have a food bar. I've been going there for years. And this was on the checkout line. SNAP link recipients, important notice. Due to the current shutdown of the federal government, USDA has announced November SNAP benefits will not be available beginning at 12 a.m. on Saturday, November 1st. Please note, this is not the fault of the store. Need food? Question. Scan the QR code to access resources available to you. If you aren't a SNAP recipient and want to help your neighbors during this crisis, please support your local food bank or local pantry. Again, this is on the counter at the grocery store I was just at. And I'm thinking, good on them for warning people, reminding people. And for those who just haven't caught the news, which I think will be very few. But there's always one. So can you imagine a few days from now, if they don't get this thing ratified, how things are going to be? I can imagine how it's going to be. Because I live in a big city. And living in a big city, you learn a lot. And if you're observant, you see things for what they are, and not for what others want it to be. But there's a lot of tension going on. But I want to segue into this. I spoke on this the other day. Nick Shirley was dealing with Antifa in Portland. And I tell you, this video is a humdinger. In the video, in the clip I'm going to show you, he's trying to help the people in the neighborhood by getting Antifa out of the streets, so people can drive down the street. You know what? I guess I'll just let the film show you. Watch this.
And now you have Antifa controlling the traffic here. You don't have any police officers here. These guys are trying to move. They have blocked off the road, Antifa themselves. Let these guys through.
You can go this way, but
He has the right to go through here.
I have the right. Well, you can try it, but you're going to sit here for a while. Okay, we're going to be here for a while.
He has the right to go through. Let this guy through. Let the guy go through, man.
Hey, we're trying to get him. We don't need your help.
No, she needs to move so he can go through. You need to have You do not have the police police here, you have Antifa directing traffic here.
Please don't hit anybody. Hey, folks, we got an angry person here. Please let him through. He's angry.
They're finally letting the man through. But this is actually unbelievable. They've taken control of the street, they've blocked people off, and now they're making everyone go a completely different direction than the way come through. They let the one man through in the truck because I told them they had to let him through. Other than that, look, this guy's trying to go through. They won't let him through. How do you guys have the right to block off the street? Underneath what jurisdiction do you have the right to tell these people what way they can drive?
We're having a peaceful assembly right now, man. It's blocked.
We're having a peaceful assembly. You know, when I go out in these streets and I cover these stories live, I've learned from my 40 years of covering stories with different newspapers and magazines. I just try to cover the story and don't say much. So what I'm going to present now is going to be different from something I'm always done, and that is I'm going to warn Antifa. Antifa, 4+ years ago, you pulled this crap in all of our major cities, especially here in Chicago. You burned, you looted, you vandalized, you broke up, you and Black Lives Matter. And people dealt with your crap. But from that one experience, I did learn something. Near 35th, right off the expressway next to White Sox Park. In that area, the white folks, they stood their ground. I'm gonna say it again. The white folks on 35th, right off the expressway, right off the Dan Ryan, they stood their ground. And when Antifa came over there, they had to run. Because the white folks over there, they wasn't going to take no stuff off of BLM, nor
I'm not surprised about that.
Antifa.
I do not think we are, and I told Carrie yesterday.
So what happened was that when I put it in perspective, what went down, fast forward till today, somebody on social media got to warn you. Now I want to back up. Nobody has a right to block a public way. Nobody. Peaceful protests, whatever. You don't have that right. I don't care allegedly how much money George Soros is paying you. You ain't got that right. So what I'm predicting is this. I'm predicting something which isn't going to make the news. And my scenario is this. You're going to come up on Billy Bob. When I was around, I want to say 15, 16 years old, my mom, God bless her, moved us out of the south side of Chicago. Nothing but gangs and burglaries and you name it. The crap, the hood stuff. And she moved us into a community. I did not know what that was. I didn't know what Pilates was. I didn't know what people dealing with the VFW. People cherishing their libraries. And soccer moms. Plays. Bar mitzvahs. You know, just go down the road. I was used to the hood. The gang banging. Getting your head cracked. Stealing your lunch money. Beating you up. And so, as I am understanding the area that I was, which was Park Forest South, about a 10-minute drive from Creek Monique. Those of you all who know the area, you know what I'm talking about. This back in the 70s, y'all. That area was lily white. I think it was only 5 black people that went to my high school. I'll show you my yearbook one day. And so I was in a social shock. Like, wow. I come from the streets of Chicago. Now I'm in white suburbia. I've always been told that white folks was racist. Didn't care about black people. Better watch your back, Pearson. You're going to have trouble. Don't say too much. You know, all the stereotypes you hear, right? You grew up with that. And what I can tell you is this. The 2 years that I went to Creek Monique High School, nobody ever called me the N-word. But when I came back and worked in Chicago, that's all I heard. Make that make sense. What's my point? I want to set this up for you because you need to understand community versus hood. So can you imagine that I had to realize that there are different degrees of white people, just like there are different degrees of black people? But nobody ever told me that. I had to learn and observe. And one of the things that has stuck out all of my life, especially after I just saw this Antifa mess, people, there's a certain white boy out there. His name is Billy Bob. Many of you white folks who grew up in certain neighborhoods, in certain communities, you know what I'm talking about. There's always this one guy, or 2 or 3. He went to the bar, got drunk on the weekend, right back at work Monday morning, and whatever he did. But you learn to respect Billy Bob because Billy Bob had his own world, had his own thoughts, didn't really start no trouble. But if you made trouble, then you got introduced to Billy Bob. So, my first couple of years living in Park Forest South, I learned about Billy Bob and other degrees of white folks. So I told myself then, don't you ever get on Billy Bob's bad side. Because there are young Billy Bobs, middle-aged Billy Bobs, and older Billy Bobs. But in a community where you have Pilates, you have the VFW, you have your plays, the soccer moms, and everything's where in reach in a community where everybody's needs are met. No gangbanging, zero tolerance for that. But the Billy Bobs were able to exist because there was a level of respect that Billy Bob had in his community. So what am I getting at? When I see Antifa, which what I have seen, the majority of them are white. When I see Antifa blocking the street in Portland, my mind gets to going with scenarios. I can imagine that Billy Bob's grandfather, who's been sick off and on, who's had a recovery moment, all of a sudden had a relapse. And they didn't want to wait for the ambulance. They got in the car. Maybe the pickup truck, who knows? And they're driving down the street. And they're like 4 blocks from the hospital. And just so happened, his Antifa blocking that exit or entrance or that street where you need to get to the emergency room. And Billy Bob's in the car like, what? My grandfather, he might be dying. So by the time you get 2 blocks away, you realize you're not making any traction here. So you go all the way around, maybe 5, who knows, 6 blocks. You finally get to the hospital. The emergency room staff can see, they can look in your eyes and tell you it's a dire situation. So they bring his grandfather in. Now what you need to understand is this. As a black man, I didn't know anything about white culture. But I know Billy Bob loved his grandmama and his granddaddy. Granddaddy is the one that used to take him fishing on the weekend and try to talk some sense into it. Slow down on your drinking. Stop acting all crazy. Go to school. Make something out of yourself. Let somebody else say that to Billy Bob, it's on. But there was a genuine respect for Grandpa. And fishing was a way that Granddaddy could get some alone time with Billy Bob to invest and possibly change his behavior so he can be a more productive citizen. So now Granddaddy, he gets in the medical room and they realize he's unconscious. I said he's unconscious. So they frantically try to resuscitate him. Now Billy Bob, he's sweating because he loved his granddaddy. And he watching the monitor, you know, boom, 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 boom. It's not doing anything. The nurses and the doctors frantically try to revive him. Minutes seem like hours. Then they ask all the relatives to get on out the room, because they know from experience this thing getting bad. Billy Bob's out in the hallway praying to the Lord Jesus. About 10 minutes later, the doctor walks out. I'm sorry. We lost him. These are the things that I can see happening. These are the type of scenarios I can see materializing. And Billy Bob, he off the chain now. Gotta remember, Granddaddy was everything. And most of all, he respected him. His whole world was his granddad. He might not have done everything Granddaddy asked him to do, but he loved him. And all Billy Bob could think of once he found out, because his friends told him. They're running through the hospital. Billy Bob, how's Granddaddy? We would have been here sooner, Billy Bob, but we couldn't get here. Antifa got the streets blocked off. And that same rage that only Granddaddy could keep Billy Bob from getting to that level, he did. So now you out there blocking traffic? You pushing it too far, baby. You pushing it too far. I'm convinced if what I just put out there for you happens, and I believe it's going to happen, it might not be exactly how it go. The mother could be on the way to get the baby from the babysitter. The mother could be expecting. 9 months, baby about to come. Fire trucks trying to get through. House burning down. Antifa's blocking the street. Antifa, let me tell you something. And it's coming from a black man. Don't you underestimate Billy Bob. Because he's out there. He watches the news. But when that news becomes a part of your life, you will be the news. You're going to be the news. This is the America that we're living in, people.
Have Antifa controlling the traffic here. You don't have any police officers here. These guys are trying to move. They have blocked off the road, Antifa themselves. Let these guys through.
You can go this way, but we're not going.
He has the right to go through here.
I have the right. Well, you can try it, but you're going to sit here for a while. Okay, we're going to be here for a while.
He has the right to go through. Let this guy through. Let the guy go through, man.
Wait, we're trying to get him. We don't need your help.
No, she needs to move so he can go through. You need a F-up. You do not have the police here. You have Antifa directing traffic here.
Please don't hit anybody. Hey, folks, we got an angry person here. Please let him through. He's angry.
They're finally letting the man through. This is actually unbelievable. They've taken control of the street. They've blocked people off, and now they're making everyone go a completely different direction than the way coming through. They let the one man through in the truck because I told them they had to let him through.
And so what Nick reported later on in the video is that he believes that Portland saw his video and found that the police came out there. I'm Friendship Pearson. Every now and then, I'm going to have some hood talk. Let me know what you think. You don't think it's possible that whites can go upside the head of other whites? Ask folks about Billy Bob. They'll tell you. They'll tell you.